On this episode, we talk about books for doctors, what's hot in lawyering, what's the job outlook look like, how to make a lot of money, and what books I'm reading.
You ask questions, and I answer them. This is the Ask Christopher Small Show.
Hello, everybody. This is episode number 9 of the Ask Christopher Small Show. Today, we're going to talk about all the stuff I just told you about. What's going on, though? What's hot right now? Let's see. I'm not that exciting. I don't have that much exciting stuff going on today. Actually, there's some things going down. I guess what's going on. This is sort of like a current events part of the show, but I don't want to really date myself. I gotta say that I'm a little sad. The Seattle Seahawks, my team, they lost the first game of the season. A lot of lessons learned. I will tell you though, the way I see football seasons is sort of a lot of the way that I see sort of law firm and lawyer progression. You have to go out there and do it, make a couple mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then get better, right? That's why I love sports, is because you get to see that in real life as every season goes. You get to see sort of that metamorphosis from sort of a new team to experienced team over and over and over again. I love watching that, and I can't wait to see how the Seahawks go. And, basketball season's about to start too, so I'm super pumped for the Jayhawks. It's going to be crazy. But enough of that. Let's get into the questions. Lindsay asks, what's the 5-year outlook for jobs as an attorney? Heavy question, Lindsay, for a couple different reasons. And as I was thinking about the answer to this question, there are really kind of two answers for me, because I think that in some areas jobs are going to really be dwindling, but I think there are a lot of opportunities out there for attorneys to sort of step in where others will be leaving. All right, so let's talk about first where jobs are going to be leaving. I'm not in this world, so it's a little bit tough for me to say, but I feel like as technology continues to improve, the need for associate attorneys, those grinders that you just lock away for months and months at a time, is really going to diminish, sort of like those big firm associate attorneys. I know that for me, if I was the owner of one of those firms, I would continue to be looking at the bottom line. And when you can plug 1,000 pages of depositions into a scanner and then just search for keywords that you need, that really eliminates the need for someone to go through that line by line. And it definitely eliminates the need for an attorney to go through it line by line. The offset, I guess, is that those law firms won't be getting those billable hours from those attorneys. But I think that clients are becoming more familiar with this technology, and they're demanding that anyway. So in my mind, that's sort of an area that is going to be dwindling. Another area, which you might not expect coming from me, and this may not be a 5-year outlook, this may be like a 15-year outlook, is any sort of attorneys that deal with cars. Okay, so that would be personal injury attorneys, traffic ticket attorneys, DUI attorneys. I think there's going to be a real minimization of that type of work coming in the next coming years. I've already seen it in Seattle. Our DUI cases are way down with things like Uber and Lyft and things like that. But the next technological advance is going to be driverless cars, right? And what happens when there's no one driving the car? There's no DUIs. There's no traffic tickets. There are very, very few traffic accidents, right? All of those things are going to go away. So if you are in the car business like I am, you need to start thinking about where else you might turn. All right. So from those perspectives, the market's kind of down. I'll tell you too. Another area that is sort of waning is going to be sort of the run-of-the-mill business law kind of stuff, right? You have LegalZoom. You have I don't know. There's like Rocket Matter, maybe something. There's some other do-it-yourself, a lot of do-it-yourself legal services out there that are continuing to take hold, right? They are putting on huge advertising campaigns. And to be quite frank, when it comes to filing an LLC, creating an LLC or something like that, I don't know that you really need an attorney. that's just me, but I don't know that you really need that. So there's going to be a big move from, I think, from attorneys that do that work. I think that work is going to slowly go away. Now, with that being said, I think there are other opportunities for lawyers that are out there in the next 5 years to create jobs for themselves. And one of these places is going to be purchasing the practices of people that are retiring, right? And what I mean by practices, I mean phone number, client list, things like that. Because as people move out, they're going to need to get rid of their assets. They can't sell their business to anybody. It has to be to a lawyer. So why not you? Why not me? So I think there's an opportunity for growth there. I think that in any other area of the law, there's the opportunity to come in and do well. And there will always be jobs there if you have the guts and the willpower to go out there and market yourself and network and create connections. People will send you business. That stuff is always going to be there. Great question. Garen asks, what is a lucrative area of law that will stay that way for a long time? Okay, Garen, good question. This piggybacks right off of the last question in a way, so it's perfect timing, really. I think there are, for me, I always tell people, if you listen to my podcast or anything like that, I always talk about estate planning as sort of the place that I would go if I was starting my firm again. I think that there will always be a need for estate planning. I think that while yes, it does fall into, in a way, sort of that LegalZoom trap where you can go to LegalZoom and buy sort of your basic will and things like that. I think that there is an additional element that comes with estate planning that lends itself towards that one-on-one interaction, and that is the family element, right? Because you don't want to go and do a will and then be worried that your money is going to go to the state, or that your kid is going to end up, as a ward of the state, something crazy like that. So there's that added element. The other thing with estate planning is it is rife for referrals, wealth management, accounting, financial planners, doctors, right? All kinds of people are there and can see the value of having a good estate plan. And so I would do that. And then to take that to the next level, though, what I would do is I would create a membership, sort of an element to my estate planning practice, where every year you pay $100 and you get an hour with me every year for free, or not for free, for the $100. And what you could do is you could break that up so that someone's only paying $8.33 a month for the whole month or for the whole year, and then every year they come in and meet you. You get think about it like this: you get 1,000 clients, right, paying you $100 a year. That's $100,000. You just add it to your bottom line, really for nothing, right? You just have to have these meetings with them to sort of check in, see what the status is of them and theirs, and most likely extra work is going to come out of that. Somebody gets divorced, somebody has a kid, circumstances change, somebody comes into some money, blah 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 blah, and it all goes around. So that is my suggestion. I think if you don't like estate planning, I think another place that I would go is business. But I would also do a subscription model for business where you pay, you get people paying you $1,000 a month, and you provide X sort of list of services for them. They just keep paying you. It's earned fee. It's not a retainer. You just bada bing, bada boom. If they need additional services, there are additional prices, but they just pay you that membership fee basically to have access to you. Carol asks, since I practice social disability law, I was debating having books printed to give out to doctors to put in their waiting rooms. Do you think it is worth the expense? I also watched a marketing video which encouraged attorneys to place prescription discount cards with your name and address on them in physician waiting rooms. They actually do work, as I have used them myself since I have a horrible drug prescription plan. Any thoughts on these? Carol, welcome. All right, Carol's a member of Law Firm Confidential, so got to give a shout out to Carol. She's great, crushing it, doing really well. So, Carol, to answer your two questions. Question number one, the books. Yes, I would do the books, all right? But here's what you got to remember. Here's what you got to want to give. You need to give some information that adds to the credibility and also adds to the conversation that the doctors are having with your prospective clients. Okay, whatever that is. I don't do disability law, so I can't even begin to go there. But it may be a thing where they say, how am I supposed to pay for this? Or they're having a conversation with the doctor about something, and the doctor then can say, look, you need to get money for this. Here's how you do it. Here's an ebook that outlines the process or something like that, and it's perfect. Okay, so my answer to all of these marketing questions that you might have is going to be to test it. Yes, try it out, test it, and see if it works. All right. I would print maybe 100 books, send them out to 10 different offices, go out there, and then see if you get a response. On those books, I would put a specific phone number and maybe a specific email address. So I would make up a name like Cindy, at lawfirm.com, so that if you get an email to there, you know it came from the book. If you get a phone call from that number, you know it came from the book. Then you can really see if it's having an impact on your business. Okay. Yeah, so that's and the other way that you could see it is, keep track of the doctors that you give these books to. You'll be able to see, I would imagine, throughout the process, that the doctors that they go to, and say hi to Piper, guys, in the background. Hey, Piper. If the doctor goes to, if you have clients that come from that doctor, I think you can probably assume that they got the book. All right, so that's the first question. Second question, the prescription cards, or the discount prescription cards. You already sort of answered the question yourself. You said yes, you use them. My answer to this is the same as the answer to that last one, and that is to test. One added bonus, or one sort of added element that I would consider if I were you, is to maybe try to print up a set of these cards for each doctor's office. And what you want to do is you want to include your information and the doctor's information. If you can do that, I would talk to the doctor's office first and ask if they'd be interested in partnering with you to do that. That just gives them a little bit more street cred. It doesn't seem like a blatant advertisement on your part. And you also, and the doctors may not realize this, but you also get to sort of piggyback on the credibility of the doctor, right? Because your name is there right next to the doctor's. So they say, I trust the doctor, I'm going to trust this lawyer, right? So there's a double benefit there. All right, so for both, I would give it a shot and see what happens. The expenses are really quite small because, let's say for 100 books, maybe it'll cost you, $300. I would guess. If you get one client, you make that all back. So it's definitely worth the test. Allison asks, what books are you reading right now, and what book is he reading? So, Allison has a special place in my heart. Allison's my wife. She saw the request out to the ether for questions. And by the way, if you want to ever ask a question, you can email me, chris@theartoflawyering.com. You can go to Twitter @artoflawyering. I would prefer, however, that you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/theartoflawyering, and ask there. You'll see something come up every once in a while. Just go ask a question and I will answer it. So I think I said she's my wife, but Allison's my wife. So I love you, honey. Thanks for the question. Good one. To answer the second question first, what is he reading? He refers to, I put a picture of Piper up when I asked the question this time. I said, you guys have questions, just to be kind of cute. Piper has a book open. He's reading it. Go to the Facebook page. You'll see it there. It's pretty cute. But what am I reading right now? Great question. I'm always reading, always doing stuff. I started a new book today called Essentialism. I can't remember who it's by, but it's really good. It's sort of about project management and how to get things done efficiently and effectively. It's a pretty good book. I just finished reading today Virtual Freedom by Chris Ducker, which is a great book. It's about hiring virtual assistants. So I'm going to hire another virtual assistant to help me out with this video stuff that I'm doing, podcasts and things like that, as well as a bunch of other tasks. But virtual assistants are great because they are relatively inexpensive and they're a huge help, quite frankly. I have one right now that I use. I'm going to get another one, so I'll have two, and they're awesome. What else am I reading? I am also reading Never Eat Alone. I can't remember who that's by, but it's a networking book and it's awesome. It's ridiculously good. A lot of great insight in there. I'm going to have you, Allison, by the way, read that book when I'm done, because it has a lot of great information and strategies and tactics for when you know specifically who you want to meet, how to meet them, and what to do, and what approach to take on that. So, yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. I actually just downloaded a bunch of books from Audible last night. Essentialism was one of them. So I do two things. I read books and I listen to my audiobooks as well. So I'm always listening to audiobooks in the car, and when I'm walking the dog, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm doing anything, I'm basically listening to audiobooks. I'm a sponge, and I cannot get enough of this information. That's why I love to share it with you. That's why I have it to share with you, is because I'm always learning. And I hope you enjoy it. So that's it for this episode of the Ask Christopher Small Show. Please like me. Please, go like my page, facebook.com/theartoflawyering. If you have a question, go there and ask it, and I will answer it.